Howdy folks, Chores here. A little late on getting the stream started, having a few technical issues. I changed a monitor setting and it really messed with my frame rate in Vintage Story. But how are you all tonight? Yay, we're back to low frame rate, but at least OBS will appreciate that. For some reason, if I try to set my frame rate or my refresh rate to 60 Hertz, it instead sets it to 180 Hertz. I have no idea why. But let's get everyone over here with let's see, it's this button. There we go. Hey you, it's me. It's time to wake up. Because it is chores time, guys. It's also story time from me. But let's get started. So I have a bit of an agenda today. So we have actually pumpkin work ish. We're going to just nix those guys. We're going to add, what was it? Sandstone. And we're going to add iron, steel works. And what was the last thing? My paper at? Fruit trees. There we go. Awesome. All right. Yeah, no early watermelon. Let's see who is here tonight. We have Oak Tree and Tyluna and Hazard 151 and Dershep. I think I'm seeing like normal names again finally, where you all change your names to match what you wanted it to look like. But I think it is still, because I see Matt Aldezra is still showing up. We have Optimistic Pessimist and Burnzilla, and Ryuga's here. Kalzamar, Enterprise Architecture, an Oak Tree, and Inga Raymond. Hello, hello. So we're going to make some root in this inventory. Oh my lord. Okay, let's get this sorted. Let's get you out of here. We don't need like any of this stuff for tonight. Don't need you. Don't need, we don't really need you, but a little loath to put you down. We'll make room to put these guys away in their respective crates. I don't think I need to walk around with 33 pumpkins hanging around, do I? We'll fix that too. Let's see. Okay. Alright, that's gonna do. I think. Get rid of you. We'll put these away upstairs. And you. Get you over here. Alright, let's go. We'll put the... Oop, I gotta turn around. Put you away, and you, and you. There we go. Hey there, Nuclear Kittens. Love that name. And Lithio9796 is here. Hazard, you would never change your name to match what you're seeing. Most people, you don't know how. Yeah, I think I'm seeing like the actual like hashtag or @ names people use. That should do it. Yeah. All right. Let's do the trees since we're here. We only have a few left, except for the stuff on the south side, or the south side, where we haven't planted anything yet. That is for much later, Corazar. Enterprise was just wrapping up some VS yourself. You got rid of a huge amount of bountiful silver. Nice. And a random iron vein. You know, it's funny. I was thinking about, and I don't know why I was thinking about this, but I was thinking about the whole like meme of like, hey, I was just doing some mining off stream, you know, that kind of thing. It's like Vintage Story is one of those games where you kind of could get away with that to an extent, like with iron or olivine or quartz or copper. A lot of times, even some of the less common ones, like bismuth, you can sometimes get a really high concentration of that stuff, and just like mine for 20 minutes and get tons of it. Let's make our way down here. Are you all done? No. Breadfruit tree. Shame on you. How dare you die on me? There's more. Oh my goodness. Mango. And orange. And Vichy. Hey, Bobbly Boost. Look even more fantastic. Happy to help me do chores. Hey, thanks. When past you makes less than desirable decisions for future you. Yeah. So, story time, as I promised. I spent the entirety of yesterday evening playing with getting Vintage Story and OBS to cooperate on Linux. Now, this isn't obvious because I don't have any like OS sticker or badge showing anywhere. We are not in Linux. We are on Windows still. And it turns out that the version of Linux that I have uses a window compositor called Wayland. And OBS hasn't really caught up. Like, they support it to an extent, but not for, apparently, OpenGL applications. And so I was talking to some of the best wizards I know in real life, as well as some of the very helpful people over at Rusty Gears. I was talking to Chaos in particular, who does play Vintage Story and records it with OBS on Linux. And it turns out that apparently the solution is I need to install a different distribution of Linux. And I'm like, oh, great. So for the foreseeable future, if I can get my words pronounced correctly, we will be playing on Windows, sadly. And I don't know if you guys can see it, but at least in my view of the stream, there's oftentimes a lot of like just choppiness where like it's 60 FPS, but it's like kind of stop motion. Right now it looks like it to me. And then it stopped, now it's smooth again. And it kind of goes in and out, like once a minute, once every 30 seconds, you get this like 3 or 4 seconds of just weird choppiness. Don't know what causes it, but it's annoying. Any wizards named Harry? No, sadly. Isn't it the year of Linux desktop again? You know, it very nearly is. Like this right now, playing and recording and streaming Vintage Story is the only reason I have Windows still installed. Get these in here. There we go. Like this is all I use it for. I do Linux for everything else. I game on Linux. I work on my work PC is Windows, but I remote to it via Linux. I do other stuff on, video editing. I generally don't do that on Linux because that requires me to like restart my computer from Windows to Linux. I just do it on Windows. So I do that, but yeah, everything else is Linux. Watch videos, Linux. Write emails, Linux. All right, let's. It is medium, so let's go ahead and sleep. And we'll check on the pumpkins in the morning. You're really close to giving up on Windows, Kazumar. Yeah, I don't blame you. Hey there, Genesis. Welcome back. And Low Poly Cats is here. The minute you have a couple days in a row, you're jumping ship to Linux. Picking the distro will be the hardest part. Yeah, that's the difficult part. Like I spent a lot of time researching, and I did settle on Bazite, and I was actually very close to choosing the distro that Chaos is using, and the only reason I didn't is because there was someone who reviewed it somewhere, I forget where, But they said that, like, you know, you might need to be careful and consider your hardware because it's not always compatible with your hardware. Well, my hardware is, like, not new. It's not ancient, but it is not new, and you're never going to grow, are you? It's, like, see, most of my parts are from, like, 2019-ish. It's a AMD 70 800 X30, I believe. Boy, lots of a lot of pumpkins here today. Wow. You. Oh, I don't know. Are you connected to this at all? We'll risk it. Yeah. All right. So I'm still on DDR4 RAM, which, by the way, guys, if you need RAM right now, you should probably go out and buy it stat if it's not already too late. Some jerk of a company bought up like 40% of the entire world's supply of RAM, and prices are going haywire right now. Hello to Solo Dolo Bush. Recently found your channel because you just found out about Vintage Story. Hey, awesome. What's the distribution I ended up working for me? So I'm still on Bazite right now. Carissa and I both went to Bazite, and we both like it well enough. I'm just finding that for my specific use case, oops, rotten eggs. For my specific use case, Bazite is almost perfect, but not quite. It really does come down to I just need to be able to stream, and Bazite just doesn't let me do that gracefully. What happens is I can't... Do I have this in my inventory? I can't capture just one window in Bazite. There's no... The Wayland version of OBS doesn't have an X composite window capture, because it's just authentic capture. It doesn't use X composite, it uses Wayland. And because of that, the usual fallback of using the window capture doesn't work. So we have a few of these to go. Okay, let's push these along. And there's like a really wacky way of installing like a Vulkan direct capture plugin. In the wrong place here. That didn't end up working for me. Maybe I borked it. I don't know if I screwed it up somehow, but I don't think I did. Although I did mess up my ability to do an open terminal here action. Why? I don't know. And so I was able to capture a full screen. Now that's not the best answer, because that means that would potentially, if I, you know, am typing my social security number somewhere else in a tab or something, then I could actually expose information to you guys, which is like not great, not the worst, not great though. Things that you just don't need to know, you know? And I was okay with a solution I had, which was to put up like a backstop image, so that if I minimize the game, then you'd see like the technical difficulties image. The problem ended up being that the recording would, every second or two, would flash the backstop image instead of the actual game, and I have no idea. I have no idea why. All right, you. No wind. Okay, so what's on the list here? Sandstone, then. Okay, pumpkin work. I'm gonna mark that off. Let's go quarry us some. Say hello. Maybe first we harvest this. 50.8 N. Okay, let's harvest this first, and then we'll go to sandstone. Now that we're in December, can I still chisel the new pumpkin? No, I'm not able to. That ends in November. You can still chisel pumpkins that you chiseled before, and you might be able to chisel new ones, but you don't get the creative glow block on them. You can always for science it though. Hey there, Polite One, and APEC. Lycron is withdrawing from consumer RAM and NAND as well. Focus on Mr. Bugatti's HBM future. you'd switch back to Linux if there was better gaming and streaming support. Linux is actually in a really great spot for gaming right now. I found out that if I had gone with the other OS I was considering at the time, which is Pop OS, made by Framework 76, who makes the framework laptops, or System 76 make the framework laptops, that would have worked for streaming Vintage Story, because apparently Chaos and Punk are both streaming Vintage Story and recording it using Pop OS just fine. And that's because Pop OS I think does use Wayland, but it uses a Wayland to X compositor or a bridge or something, and so that helps it maintain better compatibility. So I'm gonna go and replant these around here. Oh, ugh! I'm gonna get the lawnmower first. From what I understand, though, the only other thing that you would need to be aware of for gaming on Linux is that if you're playing any games that have kernel level anti-cheat, first of all, shame on you. Just kidding. I have a particular hate for kernel level anti-cheat, but that will not work on Linux very well, if at all. So a lot of big name multiplayer shooter kind of games are not going to work. Beyond that, I have had no trouble playing pretty much lawnmower. Pretty much anything on Linux. Granted, I've only played a dozen and a half different games, but I've been reading up on other people who've been gaming on Linux, and everyone's like, yeah, nothing I play has problems. Frankly, Valve has done such a phenomenal job with the Proton layer that runs their Steam Deck that it's really making a huge impact on the gaming community, the PC gaming community, and Linux accessibility. So, definitely try it if you're not playing, Call of Duty. Although, I often call it something a little meaner. Hey there, Tina King Cannon. Let's get some amaranth grain in here. And we're just going to spin around the whole place. Check out the pigglies. Okay, they're still babies. Little babies. Run an LMD and they had problems. Caught of dirty. I call it Call of Ducky. I've never really been a huge first-person shooter fan. I've played a few. I've liked a few. That few is basically Halo, and Halo. And really the missions. I don't like the I don't really do multiplayer FPS. I don't want to say I'm not competitive. But I don't like pain when I play games. Okay, look, I know that I'm playing the game of Chores, but, the pain of, just losing horribly and dealing with kids saying they did mean things to my mom when I lose, that kind of pain. Yeah, I'm not a first-person shooter person at all. Not being able to play COD is not a loss. Take care, Enterprise Architecture. Thanks for stopping by. Alright, so we got 3 more amaranth seeds we can pop in here. And I'm gonna have another bite of pumpkin pie. Shoot, I didn't bring the chisel back with me, so pumpkin experiment, we can bring one with us. We are going to go to the other side. Oops. No, grip. Stop. Give me one. Just one, please. Thanks. Put the grass down. Player used emotional damage. Exactly. No, I just also never, it just never appealed to me overall. I like, if I'm feeling competitive, I'll challenge some friends to like Smash Brothers Melee. That's my level of competitiveness. Alright. Do I have everything I want over here? Yes. Let's go to the other side. Like the Red Hot Chili Peppers say. Super effective. Why not Smash Ultimate? I don't like it as much. I mean, it's better than Smash. Was it? Well, it's better than Brawl. Because of course everything's better than Brawl. It's better than the Smash on Wii U, which was I think Smash 4. I've only had the pleasure of playing Ultimate a couple times, and it was a long time ago. Right, my worn down hammer is upstairs. Alright, let's get our chisel. But no, I really enjoy Melee. For the characters, I don't like they did the whole thing where like you unlock new characters by using the Miis. And sometimes they're not even playable characters. I'm like, that's just stupid. It's over monetized like everything else is in the world right now. Meta Knight, okay, so I am actually a Mewtwo player. All right, so chisel, can't even chisel it. Look at that. Does not work. So now we know. I am going to run over and put this back in a minute, though. Yeah, I am pretty devastating with Mewtwo. I've been banned from using Mewtwo with my friends sometimes. They'll be like, "Look, Curzar, can you just play someone Bane like Fox?" Like, sure, guys. I love you guys too much. Smash is supposed to be a party game, but Melee Pro's CJ too hard. I mean, there is some of that. But that's like any game that has any level of competitiveness. What I didn't like about Brawl and the later ones is that like they made it so that if you were good at the game, you were actually worse. Like it was better for players who didn't have reflexes. Like the whole tripping thing, where if you wiggle the analog stick back and forth too much, you'll trip. Like that just drove me insane. And then like the game became about getting the smash ball in Brawl. And like once you get the smash ball, you win. It's like, okay, that was dumb. So on the rare occasions we did play Brawl or 4, we would disable the smash balls. Pretty much like hardcore. No questions asked. Everyone disabled the smart ball. Let's see. Let's get some of you out of here. And we're going to... Do I have... I do have a basket. So we'll grab... Oh, I don't know. I guess we'll fill up our inventory with as much as we can, get out of the bank with. And then we'll take it from there. Can you play someone who will beat us like a drum? I mean, to be fair, my friends were also really good at Melee too. We all had GameCubes, and we all played together and apart, and with other friends too. So we were all really good in general. Probably not tournament level good, but yeah, we all had enough experience, and it was just like there were just days occasionally when it was like, you know what. We want a nice chill match. Maybe we can not go overboard. So I want to find out how big this place is. That's not too bad. What's up, dude? Get out of here. Oh, I should probably get these out of here too. Yeah. How big is this? Oh my, that's pretty big. All right. That's not too bad, though. What's up, dude? Yeah, we'll dig around here. This is fine. Just a little cleaning up of the residents, the locals. Alright, there we go. Is the basket empty? No idea. Your friends and you still play the one on N64? 64 is pretty good. Oh, you Call of Duty players, you. Get out of here. Jokers. Maybe I'm the Joker, I can't hit him. Get. 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 Alright. Yeesh. Alright, probably one more over here in the corner. And this corner. We good? Popping in before bedtime? Hey there, Luthien Nightwolf. Alright, I'm gonna actually carve these guys up. We've been getting pretty lucky with temporal gears lately. So I figure, why not? You'll stay till the end if I do a flyover tour of the temple? Yeah, we can do that. Just remind me. People, please remind me. We'll do a real quick creative mode pop in, and we'll do a flyer of the temple. The hyenas think that's funny, apparently. Okay. So we're gonna push this. I guess we'll finish up this, which apparently I just started and never finished. Okay. And then we'll start pushing these that way, I think. And that'll do. That'll do, pig, that'll do. Oh, right, wasn't there... What even was this? Oh, hi, buddy. It's a rat in a maze. I don't even recall what we found here. But I'm going to put a pin in this. I'm going to plug in this, in fact. Boop, boop, boop. There you go. Yeah, there was something we were trying to find here. I don't know what it was. You can't unsee the toddler with a full diaper run these Botorns do. Have you seen the Shivers swim? Yeah, they're pretty funny when they swim. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They don't like me being here, apparently. Alright, why? Why? What is this nonsense going on here? Oh, this is the surface. Oh, that's why we didn't... Okay. Well then. The hyena laughs are eerie. Was it the silver mine? No, that was the... You're thinking of the gold mine that we went to. That was up on the Oasis side, to the sort of like the east by southeast. Okay. Well. Oh, we're gonna put a torch down here. I guess I must have bumped it by accident. Then let's go this way instead. Good times. What I pick up? Oh, I don't want your stupid arrows. Oh my goodness. Get these out of here. Get. I want like a filter. In Theno there was borax in there. In Think. There was borax in there. In fact, there still is borax in there. It's right up there. And also down there is a double batch. We really don't have much use for it anymore. Like, we don't need leatherworking. So, like, there's no real point to doing it. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so this is measured out correctly. should be 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, there we go. Anyway, so back to a topic, not to beat a dead horse, but the Linux situation is, I still want to switch over, but it's going to require me to try a different OS, and so there's going to have to be like I need like a period of like 3 days when I don't have any other responsibilities and like I'm not working. So maybe over the holidays, if I get some time. I just need to like spend some time trying it on a laptop first, and then doing the big update on the desktop. So that requires a full reinstall, and I'm not reinstalls just. Windows reinstall I can do pretty quick. Linux I am not comfortable with yet. So that was the story time. Terribly exciting story, I know. Tech troubles. Alright. Boop. And boop. Shouldn't need you, don't need you, that's for sure. Probably should have gotten some more pie. Oh well. Guess I could maybe put these in here first. There we are. Uh-oh. Dad joked. If you walk into a forest and cut down a tree, but the tree doesn't understand why you cut it down, do you think it's stumped? That was a long one, but it checks out. Checks out. I can deal. Chad Hampton in with a dual boot. So I'm already dual booting, and I don't really want to triple boot. I already dual boot Linux and Windows right now. And I'd rather not have one OS for streaming and recording, and another OS for everything else. Which I do have right now already, so like, when I switch over, it'll be a full switch from Baslite to Pop OS or whatever else. Wouldn't you think it stumped, herder? A little bit of ASMR right there. I'm actually going to put some more torches down. Bloop and bloop. And we'll probably go... so we'll probably do 2 rows that way. So like down to here and then across. At least 2. I want to come out of this with at least 10 of these. Which, if we're filling up, then that shouldn't be an issue. Don't I want to also try working with whatever Apple's using now? Nope, not at all. I actually do have an Apple computer in my house, which is not my favorite thing. I have it because of work. Use it like... I've used it maybe twice. We had a particular customer who had a bug that only occurred on Macs. And it was actually an issue with largely an issue with the Macintoshes themselves, with the Apples themselves. And it took us a while to fix this bug, and they were like, "You should have an Apple to test with," and we were like, "Okay." So we got it, used it once, made sure the bug was fixed, and then that was it. Serifs possess backs of steel, we do. Triple boot Hackintosh? No, thank you. I like having controller for my PC, which is why I'm moving away from Windows. I mean, Windows had a great thing going with... I would say Windows 7 was the last really good Windows. See, look at that. Look at that. Just random random surface drifter, temporal gear. And there's that one a while back where I killed it, and then I harvested it, and it gave us a second temporal gear, which is wild. You're still running 7, Shadhampton? I mean, you probably have your reasons. I won't judge, but just be careful. Wobbly boost, not you too. I actually had a really good experience with XP, especially once SP2 hit. But I wasn't one of the people who like clung to XP desperately. I didn't use Vista. I hated Vista with a passion. It was so awful. We had customers who had Vista PCs, and they just had endless problems with them. But Windows 7 came along, and I never had a problem with it. And it was, responsive. It did what I needed it to do. It gave me control. But being real, the absolute best version of Windows in recorded history, and this is official, this is straight from me, right? The absolute best version of Windows was Windows 2000. Anybody who thinks differently, you can fight me. Your studio still works in XP? Wow, that's daring in this day and age. No spying, no updates, no resetting your settings. I mean, I get that, but I really hope you stay offline for the most part. Or you have some really good firewalls and antivirus protection. Which is mostly script blockers anyway, but I think we can get away with this guy here. I guess we'll find out if we open up a hole into the surface here. Windows 2008 server, you pour one out. Daring says the NT early adopter. No, NT was before Win 2000. And 2000 was, for me, 2000 was kind of like Windows 7 in that, like, it just got out of my way. It just, it did what it needed to do, and it didn't complain. I did run into a wall when I wanted to do more than, let's see, it couldn't do more than 4 gigs of RAM. There was no 64-bit version, which wasn't a problem well into, like, the, mid-aughts. And there was something, if you had a hard drive that was more than, it was some goofy number, it was like 137 gigabytes or something goofy. Then you had to go into the registry, and I still remember the setting. You had to make a registry key called Enable Big LBA. Somewhere in there. I don't know where it was, but it was in there somewhere. And set that to 1. And then it could address hard drives up to 2 or 4 terabytes or something, insanely big for that day and age. But I was so confused when I got a real big hard drive. And by big, I mean, like, I think it was like 250? Spinning platter. Western Digital Black, 7,200 RPMs. For those of you who are not, my young age of 23, RPM is a measure of how fast a thing spins. How condescending can I be? But yeah, I put it in, I'm like, why is it only reading 137 gigabytes? What gives? And that was back in the day when, like, I was at college and our internet in college was abominably slow. My parents' dial-up was better than the university garbage. Revolutions per minute? Yeah, there we go. Was it revolutions or was it rotations? I forget. The computer on the farm has always been offline. Well, there you go. If your computer is fully offline, you really never need to update it. What? How? Seriously. Listen. Sir, this is a Wendy's. Oh, How did that go so far off? How come... What? Is there a third one? No, you're just dying. Okay. Oh, there's a... Okay. There is a, rift up there. Well, let's catch some Z's. Make it daytime. And let's see, we have, the Crazy Watermelon showed up. Hey, welcome. And Vintage Cyclist. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If they're familiar with vehicle engineering, then RPM. Yeah, but even that's kind of going away with the electric cars. No one cares how fast the electric motors spin. It make car go vroom, but doesn't make vroom sound anymore. I'm gonna do the top first, right? It is revolutions? Okay. Oh, I did do the top first. It was, Botorn really messed up my groove here. Back when networks would get saturated immediately. Oh my goodness, there was a virus from back in the day that I had to manually apply a patch to. And I ended up saving it on probably a CD at first. It was called the Welch's virus, or the Welks virus. It was like WELCHS, so not quite like the juice. But it was a dumb little virus. It was just a DDoS virus. Or it wasn't DDoS. It was just a regular DOS virus, where it would saturate your network by trying to continuously connect to some either some server or not even anything, just an unused address on the internet. And it was funny because like when you started up Windows, it had like a delayed start, and so you had like maybe 3 or 4 minutes to do something before the virus started up. And so if you were quick about it, you could find the solution to the Welch's virus and download it. But you had to do it like in steps. You had to like, let's see, you had to like start Windows and you'd open you'd get on dial-up, right? You start your browser, you search for the Welch's virus fix, and then you copy the URL into like Notepad and save it on your desktop. Restart your computer, because by now you can't do anything. The virus kicked in. So you then next time you go in and you paste the URL in, that gets you to the website. Then you gotta like find where the downloads page is, right? Because at this point you haven't gotten to the downloads page. So you get to the downloads page, you copy that URL, save it to a notepad, restart your computer. Just like over and over and over again until finally, and you had to really be quick on the draw with the actual download. It wasn't very big, but on dial-up, it was a couple hundred kilobytes. But even on dial-up, like that could take a few minutes. So you had to like really be on the ball of making sure you got to the URL, hit the download button, hit the save button as fast as you possibly could. And I think when I finally got it, it was like the Welch's virus did kick in at the very end. And I feel like I may have also used a download helper where it could pause downloads at the time, which was a very novel idea back then. I may have used that because just dial-up was so painful, even on a good day when the squirrels weren't like playing jump rope with the wires. Alright, a few of these hanging out here. Alright, so I think this is going to be the last one for this section. And we'll Well, maybe even call this good for now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It has to be 8. What time is it? It is 9:15. Yeah, we'll call this good for now. I want to go get some steel working done, which means the wind won't be blowing. You remember reading about the Welch's virus? Yeah, it was such a wild thing. And so doofy, too, because it was like, it wasn't trying to break your computer, it was trying to break your experience, really. Whoops. No, don't do that. Don't punch it in. There we go. You had to hope you're getting it from somewhere with a resumable download option. Yeah, well, because I had a download helper, which would download it and save it to like an unfinished file, basically, and then, I guess somehow it would convince the server to resume a download from a certain point. Sounds like internet griefing. That's what it was, basically. Yeah, that's the long and short of it. Hey there, Hughes. You're a bit late, but you're at work? Well, you are being very productive at work today, let me tell you. Download helpers, yeah, I mean, they were mostly a scam. And I think I had to reach out to a friend who had a bit more internet savvy than I had at the time, because, like, I mean, one, I was like a kid. But also, like, I was on dial-up, and you don't get to experience much internet on dial-up. Let me tell you. The internet is a funny place on dial-up. Can I pick these up? No, I can't. Right. Okay. I wish you could just right-click these, pick them up, instead of this nonsense. Yeah, and then my friend led me to this download helper that he used, so did the trick. Didn't the hammer have a swing for the quarry mod? I really don't know. I don't think it did, or if it did, it might have been like on the previous version. Or I'll bet if I do an F5 and watch myself swing, it would actually swing. Let's get out of here. With one block to spare. Ta-da! As long as the boss pretends to pay, then we pretend to work. Inga Raymond spent a lot of time with dial-up for home and work. Yeah, I hear the sound too. Makes me think of the scene in Terminator, was it 2, I think, where the Terminator makes a phone call on a giant brick cell phone and then makes the dial-up sounds with its mouth. Because it did actually, like, it communicated via sound. Dial-up did. They were just, weird sounds to human ears. Alright, 9's not bad. I can deal with 9. Sand, stone. In you go. And let's put away our plugs. And the hammer can go up top too. You think the last dial-up service in the world has stopped? I couldn't say. I don't know. Maybe. I might agree with you. You'll never know. Let's see. Hammer goes up here. And we have the green gear to bring home. Well, AOL has ended, yes, but I don't know. There might be some, like, small ISPs in poorer countries that still offer dial-up. I have no idea. Used to make your dad mad because he'd be online all day and he'd try to call from work. Yeah, that was me. That was me. Oh, nice. A lot of pumpkins. Too bad none of them are going to get carved. Where do our green gears go? They go in here. We have 9. Not too shabby. Let's go get us some pumpkins. Pumpkins. Wow. This is a lot of pumpkins. Not really much point in busting these vines up, but, you know, makes me feel better, I guess. Did I catch the armor stands moving when teleported in? Yeah, I always see that. It's really weird. Guess I can break you. You might actually do something else. You're still going, so I'm not going to break this vine yet. You could technically still grow. You're glad I finally figured I can right-click them? Actually, someone told me, I think in a comment, a week or so ago. Wow. That is Pumpkin Central. That's what, 24, 26 pumpkins. Not too shabby. Not too shabby! Okay, so... supposedly, we have some wind. Is this still burning? It is. Not for too much longer, though. Wow, it is very windy. Oh, this... apparently been on this entire time. Okay. What were we doing here? Oh, we were making, oh! We were making plates. Not the kind you eat off of, either. Let's go ahead and fire these up. In the Oasis sandstorm time. Usually it's hey look wind, hey no wind time. Alright, so let's get rid of you and don't need ladders. I don't really need one ladder. It's just bye. Oh. Bye. Fare thee well. We do need tongs. Let's get those in the offhand. Get rid of you as well. And we're gonna do, these steel ingots here. And we still have a bunch of iron blooms to do, so we'll get on those as well. These look like they're loaded up with a lot more coal than just like one, don't they? Did I load these up in preparation for doing the steel? Is that why that's like that? Not sure why I put 2 in there just now. My brain just made me do it. It did, I swear. Let's do. Ah! I'm way behind. Good enough. Alright. Thanks. Question, would I use Forlorn Hope armor for deep caves or plate? So Forlorn Hope is a type of plate. It's a treasure plate armor. I do prefer it for caving in general. If you're going super duper deep, you might still want steel plate. But Forlorn Hope is nice because it doesn't cut your mobility as much, and it's not the greatest, but it does let some healing work. I thought I saw, maybe I'm making this up. I could have sworn I saw, maybe it was Tyrone said that he wanted to change armor so that rather than changing how much healing did, it changed how fast it healed you. Can anyone back me up on that? I swear I saw that somewhere. But that could have been from like a mod that I saw somewhere. I don't know. But big if true. Alright, let's get you guys off of here. Okay. You guys up here. Come on. Oh, I'm so behind. No, stop it. No. Save me. Would you please? Oh. There we go. Okay. Oh, it needs to be a... Darn it. Of course it does. Yeesh. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it's been a while since I had to think about what anvil was here. I don't normally keep like a bronze and an iron anvil around. I'll typically make 2 iron anvils just to not have to shuffle them, but it just wasn't worth the time here, I don't think. Uh-oh, Dad joked. Did you hear about the guy whose whole left side was cut off? He's all right now. It took out to be 100% efficient. It is, but I hate wasting coal. Drives me nuts. Because then I have to go get more. Biddling, biddling, bada bing. Bada bing, bada bang, bada boom. Should be all the blister steel. Yes, it is. Good. Okay. Sure. I don't like that too much. What do you... Okay, I think that was a ghost. You're still workable, but only barely, I think. You're not workable. Oh, there's things here. Bye. I guess this requires a bit more heat. There we go. A little bit of pie. Off the bar. And there we go. Surprised no iron to hell hammers. Yeah, it's a little weird. I'm not complaining though. How can I be so throwed out and still have young children? You know, it's I'm definitely 23. Yeah. That's right, sci-fi guy. I'm 23, give or take a decade. And change. There we go. Quick question for these people in chat. Malwarebytes worth getting? Used to be. Long time ago. Malwarebytes is basically just take the first 2 syllables, and that's what Malwarebytes has become these days. Started young. Well, I think I made it clear. I grew up in the 90s, so that's no secret. Not really, at least. 61. Okay, not doing too shabby here. I'll just hang on to these. Alright, so let's go ahead and let's do some of these. It's, wow, it's only 9:30? Wow, okay. I thought it was, like, closer to 10. Let's fill these up so that way when we light them up, the wind will stop. Right, guys? I'm 23 if you double up plus a roll of d20. Hey there, Aunt Colin 99. Happy Wednesday to you too. 80s kid, 90s teen. You probably got me beat by a handful of years. Yeah, not by a ton. But yeah, so my parents also were... We weren't poor. That's the funny thing. Like, my dad was just frugal. Like, it was just a general, like, frugality was his thing. So, like, could we have gotten Comcast high-speed cable when I was a kid? Yes, we probably could have. Did my parents want to pay for it? Oh, heck no. They didn't see the need for it. That was just gonna let their son play more games on the internet, and that wasn't a good thing. It was terrible. So we just didn't have internet until we got internet first when I was let's see, we've been for like Total Annihilation days. The computer was still in the garage. Well, what became the garage? Gosh. I was probably like 13 when we got dial-up. Okay. And we didn't get broadband, and I use that term loosely because they're rated to DSL on really ancient copper lines. I mean, they were so bad that they had to get the extra good filters to put on the other lines. So we didn't get DSL until I was in at least my first year of college. I think it was about then. My parents got DSL. So now they, of course, they have I think they have Verizon, I think? No, they have Comcast. And it's expensive now. They're one of those places where there's only one ISP, so they can really gouge their customers. Like, they're paying like triple what I pay for half of what I get, basically. Not even half. And where I live, we have both Verizon and Comcast, and like I pay like, I don't know, $50 a month or something for 300 megs up and down. You barely missed punch cards in college. So you had DARPANET, right? He was saving me from the worst of programming. Now my first computer, so I did get to experience some of the really old computer stuff, and not punch card level, but the first computer I ever got to use at home was one that my dad was decommissioning from his office. He was a CPA, fully retired, and it was one of those with an amber screen, you know, monochrome amber screen, and it had the 5 1/4 inch floppies, and to boot it up, you had to insert the boot floppy, and go through 2 or 3 floppies till you got to DOS, and then you could load up the whatever Lotus or whatever you're using to write, or do spreadsheets and stuff. And then my second computer, so that one didn't I couldn't do much but type on that, so it wasn't interesting to me at the time. But a few years later, when I was about 8, my dad brought home the first Windows PC from his office. It was a Windows 3.1. And I still have the CPU from that was in it before he upgraded it. So it came with a 486DX in it. I have that in a drawer in my house. I just thought it was cool to keep as a little bit of history. So I actually make it a point to keep all of my CPUs, except for the one that I've had the longest, which was my i5 2500K, only because I gave that computer to a friend who needed it. And so they're I think still using it, I'm pretty sure. Proper old PC stuff. Yeah, when I was in elementary school, up through 5th grade, we still had the Apple IIes for our computer classes and for everything we did on computers there. It was the same way, you know, the floppy to floppy transfer. And when I was in 5th grade, they actually upgraded half of the PCs in the computer lab to the slightly more modern ones, where they actually had like a GUI-based OS. But the first ones we had to use were full-on floppy disks to boot the PC, and then load a floppy to boot a program. You remember those too? A real computer? You mean somebody hired to do paper and pencil computing in a Crucible? Oh, a cubicle. I like Crucible better. I don't know. You played Oregon Trail on those? Yeah, that's right. That's one of the things that we think. No, that didn't run on the Amber screen. In fact, I don't think we even had that back then. We did get the Oregon Trail when we got the Windows 3.1 PC, and I definitely never made sure my sister died of dysentery. Whenever I'd make all my travelers would be my family in real life. So. Oh no. Curasis died of dysentery again. Oh no, anyway. The 2C is amber, or the 2E is green. And maybe they weren't the 2Es, but they were some kind of Apple that you booted. They did have color screens. 16 color screen, I think. Or maybe 16 or 56 colors, I forget. But they also had the ones that they upgraded to also had black and white screens. The integrated screens. Alright, last piece of pie for now. We'll have to... we'll work through this last piece of pie, see how far we get. If we get really lucky, we'll make it till morning. And maybe when the wind dies or we finish all these blooms here. Dysentery is a way to go, and it's pretty terrible. It was either that or make sure she falls off the wagon when we're crossing the stream. I'm not sure how you could make sure. I think they were, like, if they got sick, you could, like, choose to not buy medicine and stuff. It's been a long time since I played, so I don't really recall the details. I was a good older brother. For sure. Both could be booted into multicolor game mode. Just took user intervention. Okay. Well, the amber... So the amber one we had at my house when I was a kid... That was not an Apple, but it did, like, the screen itself was monochrome. It only had amber phosphors. OG Oregon Trail was green screen Apple IIe. Okay. Yeah, we had whatever the DOS version was. It had colors. Probably 256. It was the version where, like, you would, like, you could go hunting and they used relatively realistic pictures of like deer and stuff when you caught them. By good, do you mean prone to torturing siblings? Yes. I very much mean that. She had it coming. I think we were pretty fine siblings. We got along for the most part. It wasn't until like college we both mellowed out, and now we get along really well. It's like we fought all the time or anything as kids. It was just like, you know, sometimes siblings really go at it. Because they drive you up a wall. 2 more in each of these. It's funny, for doing this kind of work, I actually prefer it to not toggle, which I think I talked about before, where like I would love a version of the crouch toggle, where like a long press doesn't do this. A long press just crouches you and keeps you crouched until you let go, but a short press toggles. That is my ideal toggling design. Hey, Deership, thanks for the support. Keep it up. I sure will. I will keep up this high power hammering and smithing. Well, guys, this is actually a really big chores stream. My goodness, we have 90 viewers right now, which is kind of like double what we usually have. So, hello to everybody who's out there who hasn't commented, who's part of that 90. Hello and welcome. Great work, you're a proud dad. Thanks, Dad. Whoops, I tried to put you in there. Yeah, it's funny. Last weekend we had a pretty big. I mean, like this past Sunday we had a pretty big group too. Again, about 93 or 4, I think, was the peak. So pretty cool to see. It does come and go. So that is okay by me. Like, comment, subscribe. Yes, indeed. Smash that like button. Nuke that subscribe button. People are starting to realize what a cool game the story is overall. Yeah, I think so. I was disappointed. So Gemini Tay had done some vintage story streams, and I was really looking forward to the next one. And then it's like Hermitcraft started off. I'm like, okay. I actually don't. Okay, and don't man bash me for this. I don't really like Hermitcraft, if I'm being honest. Like it's a bunch of people playing the other block game separately together. Luthien misses the Sunday streams because they're usually playing. But you watch them during the week to catch up. Fair enough. You've done a lot of SMPs. Yeah, to be fair, there are a lot of ones that do that. I think, for me, I enjoyed the Empire's SMP that Jen and Tay are also part of, along with, like, Mythical Sausage and Pixel Riffs and Whip. Those were really fun. I liked them, like the first season or two. I don't recall how many there were, because they all kind of like try to like do a bit of a story together, and that, you know, that was fun. Even though it wasn't a ton of collaboration for a story, they did. And in the one season, they did do a really big story with like Mythical Sausage being like some demon spawn or something goofy. So it was really fun. HC used to be fun, some of it still is. Gotcha. I never got into it at its peak, I think, and then like I'm kind of seeing it in what I feel is probably not its best format. How long... Hey, Justin J4Y. How long until you move the forge to the temple? Once we get the next level of the temple complete, where we just got the stairs up to, this forge stuff is going to go there, I think. That is going to make me consider whether I want to keep the windmills and bring them over there, or if I want to do water wheels. Because we are going to have, you know, like those waterfalls streaming down the sides of the temple. I think it'd be really cool if we could use water wheels instead of the windmills. I don't know. I'll have to see. The biggest draw to that is that the windmills are on a single block, right? So they work best when they can be centered, at least, you know, visually. But the temple is an even numbered build, so not so great for working with you know, single white objects. And while I could make 4 more windmills, and I probably have enough minute to do that, I don't know if that I want 8 windmills, like visually. From what I've, you know, from the temple's design, I don't think like 8 windmills would look good on there. It would look like they were like tacked on. I think, at least. Please tell me you have enough. You're not gonna have enough, are you? Actually, there. Do the Sultan approach and wall them in? Ah, I know. I could. I don't wanna. I guess I could like do something inside the temple area there. This is not good. Like where I put the windmills, like, you know, like facing like this. Only problem is, like, that's a little close to certain symbols that we don't want to recreate in a game. So, I don't know. I'll have to see. As long as it doesn't look like that, then I could do that. Trying to get the overshot status super finicky. Oh, is that where the water comes over the water wheel rather than like down the side or underneath it? Wow, we got through all of that. Holy cow. Imagine if they had hand crank power. I still want like donkey power, or, you know, mule power, or elk power, whatever. Goat power. That's the max output for overshoot is? Okay. Overshot. Cool. Well, that is more iron. Whoops. Wow. Right, they stacked to 8, I forgot. No, it's 16. Why are they not stacking higher than 8? Now they are, okay. Who knows? Feels good. Alright, so we have 87 iron ingots right now and 61 steel. We got a bunch more coming over there. Let's run back to the house, avoiding monsters if possible. The wind gods were kind. Yes, they were. That was lucky. We've suffered a long string of rough times where the wind was like, it's perfect wind. Yes, you should definitely do some of this, Curzar. And then like we get like, you know, we burn like 20 coal and it's like, sorry, just kidding. That's happened a lot lately. So having a nice long windy evening is very welcome. Just gotta turn on steel. Actually, I think some of it we want to keep as iron, like for iron doors and things. Alright, let's have a bite to eat. We're gonna sleep. It is 9:50, so we'll sleep. We'll put the tongs away. and we'll restart the steel works again. Wow, guys, 98 viewers right now? Are you kidding me? Well, hello to the next 8 people I haven't said hello to yet. I need a polite one notice too. Yeah, that's wild. Well, thank you all for being here, guys. And it's still windy. Look at that. Do we have anything going on in here? We don't. Okay. Waddling around with this stick in my face. It destroys been popping on YouTube lately. It has, and there've been a lot more creators involved in it too, which is great to see. Let's put you there. So you back in our hand. There we are. Oh, for anyone who's curious, I've seen a lot of people not know this, but you can swap items with a hotkey from your offhand to your main hand. It defaults to X, I think. I say I think because I don't know, because I'm a lefty. I don't use your weirdo keyboard layout. Actually, not only am I lefty, I use a Dvorak keyboard layout, so I guess is as close as I can get. Hey there, Pixel Pair. How go the chores? They're going really well, actually. We're having a really good night. And boatloads of pumpkins. Where were these pumpkins when I was trying to grow them? You know? Oh, we did get a pretty good haul on the last one. But I think our first attempt we didn't, I think, do enough pumpkin maintenance, so we didn't get as many pumpkins in general. But holy wow. And this one's grown too, okay. Okay. Well then. They're still growing too, with flowers. Which means you could make more pumpkins. Hey there, Andrew P. I'm a weird lefty. Yeah, I mean my WASD equivalent is RTNS, so good luck deciphering that. Okay, I guess you're gonna go in here for now. Wow. That's a lot of pumpkins. And we got these slices to deal with too. Oh my goodness. If we had salt, we could brine it, but I might have to like just make some like pumpkin stew. That doesn't sound too bad actually. I could make some pumpkin stew. Do I have any? I have a few of these crocks. Okay, not a ton. What I don't know is when you cut pumpkins, does it keep the parish time, or does it refresh the parish timer? That's what I'm really curious about. What is the plan with the light blocks, custom chandeliers? That's an option. I might also use them for like candles on the table, or for working into the walls, like some kind of like glowing rune stuff. You know, it'd be really cool. All right, pop you in there. Let's go restart the cementation furnaces. Close the doors too while we're at it. Ka-ching, ka-chung. Yep, RTNS Shadhampton. So that for you, that would be where your O, K, L, and semicolon keys are. That's where my RTNS is. And yes, it drives the wife crazy. For our media server, we have to have both keyboard layouts active. In terms of rarity, what would be the most expensive flooring? You mean in Vintage Story? I would say, in terms of rarity, I would say probably lapis lazuli. You get it? It even seems weird for a lefty. Well, so I'm a lefty, which means I'm mousing left-handed. My right hand is on the keyboard, so it needs to be on the right-hand side of the keyboard. So does that make more sense to you as far as why I picked the keys that I did? Let's turn these into lanterns. I think the glass... Stop, get out of my face. I appreciate your light, but I don't need it. Leave the glass here? No, I did not. Yeah, this stuff. This would be the most expensive flooring you can get in the game, or rarest. Hey there, Francis0316. You just stumbled upon a translocator that takes you deep south. Nice. You found some cassava. Any advice on the to prepare it? Yes, throw it in the trash. I hate cassava in this game. It's okay. So it's a really neat plant. It's very productive too. So you get a lot of it for growing it. But in order to use it, you have to soak it first. You have to soak it for like 24 hours. And then once you do that, you have some short amount of time, I don't know what it is exactly, to use it as a vegetable. If you don't, then it'll dry out, and when it dries out, you have to grind it into a flour instead. So it's really cool, but it's such a pain in the butt to use because it's so much prep work. If you're in the south, you'll probably want to look out for what is it? Pineapple for one. Pineapple are interesting because they're the only fruits that you can grow in vanilla in on farmland. But you'll kind of need to grow it in the south. It requires a lot of heat. Amaranth though is really nice. It's very pretty to grow, and it's a pretty productive grain. I think the other lanterns are up here, I believe. Amaranth is nice. Peanuts are pretty good. They're a great protein source. And recently, and I say that, I use that term loosely, recently you're now able to use peanuts in, I believe, pies. Where did I put... Oh, they're in the chest down here, aren't they? Pineapple does take forever to go. But it also, you don't need to rotate farmland as long as you're using at least medium fertility soil. Hey, there they are. 28 lanterns. I think we're good for a little while. Alright, so I had a request to do a flyby of the castle, or of the temple. So I'm going to take a quick drink break here. I just need to get some water from my poor parched throat. And then we'll do a flyby. We might actually sleep first to make it morning, and then we'll do a flyby. So just a moment here. Alright, so to do a flyby, we're going to need to go into creative mode, so we'll do that in just a moment. You find a pineapple in a seed vessel. Interesting. I never found that in a seed vessel. It must be a new thing. It must be recently added to the list. I'm going to go ahead and sleep here just to make it morning. You're still waiting the update that lets you do a meat, veggie, fruit, cheese pie. No need for creative. You have bird's eye. Bird's eye is neat, but it also tends to be a little whippy. So I'm gonna go ahead and go into creative here. So yeah, here we go. We'll do a nighttime flyby here while it's still dark, so you can see all the lighting that we have going on, which I think is really cool to see. I really do enjoy seeing like a big lit thing in the night. I think it's great. And someday we'll have an interior to this temple. Someday. I really enjoy, if you look at the archways right there, there's sort of like a second archway of light. You guys see that? I think that's really cool. What a massive, but yeah, this is pretty much my I wouldn't even recommend building this big, honestly. Like, unless you're doing some huge multi-year thing like I'm doing now. Now, granted, we actually don't have a ton of hours in this world. We're about 200 and I think 40 about right now. Compare that to 500 hours in the first guide season. So we did a lot more in the first guide season, but I was doing a lot of stuff off camera. A lot of the relieving of stone was done off camera. A lot of mining off camera. Wink, wink. No, just kidding. That was done off camera. And a lot of building, where I'd build a lot and record a lot, but then I'd just show like a real brief montage. But this is about, this is 240 hours of prep and building. And we have, I think, a really fun temple here. From above as well. I think it's a really cool pattern. I'm really happy with how the compass rose came out. So we get a view where we're not like gonna bonk our heads on the thing up here. There we go. It's a decent view. The ladder's kind of in the way, but so yeah, this is I am really happy with this so far. Honestly, this is better than I imagined it could have been. I went into this thinking I was going to do something really austere, like where I was going to make it out of sandstone, andesite, and limestone, and like nothing else. That was my initial idea for this. And I was like, what if I put a splash of color in? And so I put those little gardens in. I was like, what if I put another splash of color in? And bam, the stairs. I was like, I kind of like these colors. What if I start adding more colors, like especially toward the inside part of the temple, the main temple part, with it becoming less colorful the farther out you go? Oh, this kind of works. So I kind of went with that idea in the long run. I could even honestly put some more color out here in these gardens, but I'm kind of liking how like they're a little more austere out towards the ends, and then as you come inward, it's much fancier, much more colorful. Yeah, that's that is the temple. Flap the canal, sure. Flap the canal. It beats your expectations by about 10 times. Oh, thank you. Thanks, everyone. So we got the temple. We have the textured ceilings. Oh, this is great. Making the like world tour video for this is gonna be a lot of fun. A lot of work, but a lot of fun. And I can't wait. I really am champing at the bit to get this interior done. Or not done, but like work on it and spend the time doing it. I think this will be so much fun to see come together once it's no longer empty and no longer just made of ashlar. I'm using the ashlar as like a stand-in temporary building block for the most part. But yeah, that is the temple. Lovely stairs. Oh, and of course, can't forget the Phil Boswell Memorial Stairway. Yep. So gotta make a mention of that, because we have these ridiculously cool but high maintenance stairs that kill the music when you go up them, with a balcony halfway up, which just so happened to be really well centered over the arches. And in fact, these, like the stairs themselves, met up perfectly with the top of the archway. Like I was just hoping they would, because it was such a weird shape. I really couldn't plan it out very well. And it was really luck that made it come out like this. So if it hadn't, I think we would have just moved the archways or something, made them shorter or taller. And so now we finally have walking access to this level where once this gets floored in, this is going to be, I think, where we do most or all of our smithing. And the reason I say that I think it is because... Right, so we're at 151. We might actually want to go up to the next level. The reason I say that is because at 170, we will max out the amount of wind we get. But if we do water wheels, that won't matter. Not like it was planning. QP ChiselTools, yes. That honestly, without QP ChiselTools, this would not be possible. At least not in this format. We could have done something where we did a staircase inside 2 full blocks. Like right now, so this is 2 blocks here. These are the exteriors of the blocks, which is what makes this staircase so interesting but difficult. So we could have done like a really thick wall, made it 4 blocks thick, or even 3 blocks thick by doing like half block slabs on the interior and exterior, and then just done regular stairs on the inside. That would have been a lot easier, but I think a lot less interesting, and would have made for a chunkier looking tower here. So, could you imagine chiseling this stuff 1 block at a time? No, I don't want to. I do not want to think about that too much. Well, guys, it is past 10 o'clock, so it is time for me to wrap up. I'm sorry to say bye tonight. We're building we're building a bigger audience as the night goes on. We're at 121 right now. So, and a lot of you sort of trickled in toward the end. So, if you missed the first part of the stream, you know, I would love for you to go and check that out. If you're new around here, because 3 more viewers, stop it, go away. Just kidding. You know, if you haven't caught the series, there's both the VOD version and the sort of chopped up episodes for viewing in 45-minute chunks, as always. So, yeah. Any of you guys, thanks for hanging out tonight. Hope to see you all again soon. And as always, my name has been Chores. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.